Well, yeah, animals don't have the safest lives in JoJo's, and today I will be talking about animals in JoJo. We all know that the JoJo verse isn't the best place to be an animal. Imagine being a dog, having a lovely owner, and everything's good, until a stranger comes to you, live in your house, and kicks you, or even worse. Animals have been present in all parts in some way. In part 1 we had Danny, the dog of Jonathan Joestar, the frog Zeppeli used to show Harmon to Jonathan, some weird hybrid of animals and humans, not sure if I can call them animals. Then in part 2 we had the dog Cars saved, the zombie horses from the Joseph versus Wamu fight, or the squirrel Cars used to... And yeah, it goes on like that. In part 3, with the introduction of stands, the first ever animal we saw was an orang-utan called Forever that happened to have a stand called Strength. Forever is able to manipulate the whole boat that he's on using psychic powers to control the floor, walls, electric cords to his own accord, and also being able to freeze to walls like a ghost. This was the first appearance of an animal in part 3 Stardust Crusaders. After Forever, we got the dog from the Yellow Temperance fight. He got eaten by Yellow Temperance, and his name was Pokey if you cared. Of course, we got some random animals like the chickens Abdul was feeding on the island he was on after faking his death. Then the debut of our favorite animal came being Iggy. Iggy is an intelligent and very prideful and arrogant dog who had been granted a stand, the Fool. Iggy joined the Stardust Crusaders after helping them defeat Andrew, sorry for my pronunciation, in the desert, showing how capable he is, and gave a first look at his stand, the Fool. Iggy has the ability to manipulate sand with the Fool, since it's made of sand. He can mimic people or objects with the sand, even being able to change the color of the sand to fit the object he wants to mimic. For example, when Iggy mimicked Dio so he could trick Vanilla Ice. Since the Fool is made of sand, attacking the stand directly wouldn't do any harm, since you are literally punching sand. After the fight with Endul, sorry again for the pronunciation, we got the iconic Stardust Crusaders photo that we all know. After Iggy, the next time we see an animal was when the Crusaders had made it to Egypt, when Iggy wandered by himself, having a side quest of his own, and those were two dogs that tried to attack Iggy. But no worries for Iggy, he handled them like a boss. After that, the two dogs tried to catch Pet Shop after thinking it would be an easy prey, since it was a bird. Boy, were they wrong. They got impaled by an ice spike that was created by Pet Shop, regretting their decision immediately. Which brings me to the next animal on the list, being Pet Shop. Pet Shop is the fourth animal with a stand that we see, and has the stand called Horus, which has the ability to create ice at fast-paced tempo, which Pet Shop uses against Iggy in a lot of different ways. Another thing that Pet Shop can do is use his agile build to fight enemies at a range, since it is a falcon after all. The ice could be used in multiple ways, like I said, like we also see in the anime/manga. For example, it can be formed into a big ice block that can crush anything in its way. Pet Shop can freeze anything around him and can also freeze its own wounds so he doesn't bleed out. Pet Shop, being a very strong enemy for Iggy, didn't stop Iggy to absolutely destroy him by biting Pet Shop's his beak while he was creating an icicle and making his head explode. Iggy showed us how strong and capable he actually is on his own. All good things must come to an end. When entering Dio's mansion, Polnareff and Iggy found themselves fighting against Vanilla Ice with his stand Cream. While Vanilla Ice was dominating the fight, Iggy, the prideful and arrogant dog, sacrificed himself so that Polnareff could survive. And man, I can't even lie, but this broke me when I was watching this. I was in such a disbelief after seeing F-Dog getting obliterated by Cream, and now Iggy making some dog noises after getting hit by Cream. Yeah, I felt so down. While this being the end of Iggy's days as a crusader, it wasn't the end for animals in JoJo. Now to part 4. In part 4 we see a couple of animals, for example some background animals like Police, the dog of Koichi, but we also have our first animal enemy stand user, being Bug Eaten and not Bug Eaten, two rats who have the stand called Rat. Rat has the ability to shoot a dart that when makes impact, the flesh and bones around the wound will immediately melt into an organic mush, which is almost impossible to heal besides if you are the goat, Josuke. The molted mush can be formed into cubes if the mush comes together. Rat has a range of 60 meters and has the option to fire in burst and can make the darts ricochet against objects to hit you from deadly angles. Next up we got Arnold, the dog of Reimi, the girl who was the first person to get killed by Yoshikage Kira in Diamond is Unbreakable. Sadly, Reimi wasn't the only one who got killed because Arnold shared the same fate as Reimi. For the rest, you don't really have any major animals in part 4. In part 5, you have a couple of animals, but nothing special, until we see Coco Jumbo, a turtle who possesses the stand Mr. President. Mr. President's ability is straightforward. It can summon a room where you can go in by inserting a key on the shell of Coco Jumbo. There isn't really anything else about it. Later in part 5 we see that Polnareff's his spirit goes into Coco Jumbo's room where he remains for the remaining time. Next animal I want to talk about is Fromaggio cat, who had the unfortunate fate to be shrinked by Fromaggio's stand ability Little Feet into a bottle, which is very sad. Now the last part that I will cover about the animals will be part 6. In part 6, Stone Ocean, nothing really happened with the animals. Besides the MVP of part 6, of course, Savage Garden, who saved the day by delivering the memory disc of Jotaro to the Speedwagon Foundation. That were all the animals that I wanted to cover in this video. I did this because I wanted to show how animals have to live their lives in JoJo. Being an animal in JoJo isn't for the weak. You would be a random dog or a cat or any other animal and you would have the most gruesome death possible because of a person or even another animal. Or you would be lucky enough to have a stand and find an opponent that would beat you into the ground. The conclusion is that being an animal in JoJo is definitely a tragedy. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a like and subscribe. If you liked this video, stay tuned for the next video. And peace out.